Have you ever wondered how quickly a web app can become a native iPhone app? Well, here's a story that might be surprising. This is a story of a simple app made in VO, which is a platform that automates parts of coding for you, that went on to be not just a side project, but a live app in the App Store, and a cool one at that. Today's video is brought to you by Brain.fm, science-backed focus music that sounds great, by the way. You can check it out, linked up down below. If you're not familiar with AI development tools like Cursor or like Replete Agent or like VO, then you're missing out on a lot. I'm getting super excited about this space. I've actually been in there, messed around with some stuff a little bit. I feel like as somebody who's not a technical coder, I'm starting to kind of wrap my head around what the possibilities are, what the limitations are, because it is possible to use something like Replete Agent, for instance, to go in and actually make an app and deploy it. But there's a lot of hiccups. It's not the smoothest process in the world. It helps if you know how to code and still can come from like a developer background, I think. But tools like VO, which is like version 0, are very helpful for kind of just fleshing out the design, especially if you plan things out and kind of know what you're trying to accomplish. You can make a very full-featured kind of minimum viable app, MVP product. And I love this app. It basically just kind of gives you a widget view you can put on your homepage of how many days are left in the year or how many days have passed in a year already. So very simple, but practical, good snapshot for time management, motivation, however you want to phrase that. And mostly, aside from the interesting app, which I think he's charging $8, so not a subscription, shouldn't be for something like this. And I don't know if anyone's gonna buy it or not, but it's cool that it's live in the App Store and you go check it out and that it looks really good. But mostly I'm just excited that somebody went out and built something, right? And turned the app into a real thing. And I like that he documented it. You can go and like check out his actual process from idea to live app. So it starts out, this thread here, he says, in the last 72 hours, someone and him converted a web app made in VO to a native phone app that you can download in the App Store. And by the way, I think they also stuck it on the Mac Store. So good job with the cross-platform there. He says, I only wrote 10% of the code. Here's how we did it with some prompts to help you out. Now, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but you can see that this was quite a process. He had to really flesh this out and kind of tweak things as he went. He says, what's exciting is that it just took 3 minutes to get to the point where he's starting to see some dots appear and sort of the app is taking shape. Then he tackled kind of making the widgets, and here's what that looks like, the actual widget for your home screen on your iPhone. You can see it wasn't perfect yet, but it was coming along. Had to do some debugging, and so you can see this isn't just like the easiest thing in the world, or it doesn't require no effort by any means. And from what I've seen, as I've started to kind of play around with a few different tools, there's some other interesting ones out there too, like Windsurf, that have caught my attention, is the more you can plan things out ahead, the better. And that's really no different than what people have been doing for a long time in design, just wireframe it before you even get going. Same thing here. If you can save some examples of things that you like in terms of looks for different apps or websites, you can feed those in or have AI sort of reverse engineer how that came about and then put that in to something like VO. There's also Bolt, which is great for this, and have kind of a jump start on whatever it is that you're trying to build. I think it's really cool, and I think you should check it out. And I think also that you should start checking out these tools, Cursor, Replete Agent, Windsurf, Bolt, VO, things like these, because we're getting to the point where coding something is less of a barrier if you don't know how to code. And I know there's a huge debate erupting, like, is it better to have that coding? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're getting to the point where you can have an idea and bring it to life. And I think you should go out and explore that and familiarize yourself with those tools, because I think you'll have some fun. Number one, I've had some fun digging into it. And number two, be better positioned for the future. I just want to take a brief second and let you know about our sponsor today, Brain.fm. I love Brain.fm. I'm literally never without this app on my Mac, on my iPhone, wherever I go, because it just sounds so good. But it's not just about the sound. Brain.fm is science-based, science-backed, and it will help you actually concentrate better. So it actually works as fast as just 5 minutes. And I love the interface. And it just really has quite an effect. Check it out. As you can see, people really love it. And if you check the link down in the description, you get 30 days free.